What up? It's Jimmy. This is a clip from our big NCAA football show that we shot today, Monday, December 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you want to check out the whole show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen, available exclusively on odds.com. Okay, we move on to the Big 12 championship. We're going to start with CMac here, and let's see what we are looking at from a market perspective. 11th ranked Oklahoma at 7th ranked Ohio State. Oklahoma opening up at -6. They're now -5.5. This total is at 57.5 to 58.5, depending on where you shop. Sooners 7-2, 6-2 in the Big 12. The Cyclones 8-2, 8-1 in the Big 12. We're at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Oklahoma's won 6 straight, and the last 5 coming by double digits. Their game last week at West Virginia was canceled due to positive COVID tests in the West Virginia program. They were last seen in a 27-14 win at home over Baylor. Freshman quarterback Spencer Rattler has thrown for 2,512 yards, 24 TDs, 7 interceptions. Oklahoma has 2 dangerous receivers on the outside, Marvin Mims and Theo Weiss, who have each caught for over 400 yards and combined for 10 touchdowns. The big spot on their offense that makes them so dangerous is 6'6" tight end Austin Stogner. But he's been dealing with a hip injury, and he missed the Baylor game, and you could see it in their offense. If a defense has to focus on the 2 wideouts and the 6'6" tight end, they're in trouble. Without having to worry about Stogner, it's a big difference. So it's unclear whether he's going to be available for this game. They outscore their opposition by an average of 21.4 points per game. Their run defense is strong, allowing just 88.1 yards per game. Iowa State has won 5 straight, coming off a 42-6 home beatdown of West Virginia. The fact that West Virginia couldn't play the following week because of COVID likely indicates that it had already started in that beatdown. Junior quarterback Brock Purdy is throwing for 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And running back Breece Hall, 1,357 yards, 7 TDs this year. He's been awesome. CMac, let's go. Big 12 championship. Take it away.
Yeah, I'll keep this simple. I like what Oklahoma's done, but I'm going to go with Purdy and Iowa State and Hall at running back. I think they pound the ball. They already beat him this year. I mean, I don't know why the line's this big. All year they've been, having Oklahoma, I think, too high, even though they play better as of late. I love Iowa State here, plus the 5.5. I like money line, and I'm leaning the under a little bit. I know the first game was 37-30, but I think this one's a little tighter and maybe a little more low scoring in this one. So I'm going to probably take all 3 of those, but definitely the 5.5, and I'm going to take a money line.
Well, let's get you Iowa State plus 5.5. That can be a -114 at FanDuel. Let's lock you in. Do you want to lock in anything else, CMac, for this?
Yeah, I'm going to take Iowa State money line.
Oh, as part of the comp? Oh, wow. That'll seal the deal. So plus 5.5 and -114. And going for the knockout punch, CMac, here in the contest with I'm going to line shop for a money line. While I do, let's go over to DJBigg Boss. Big Boss, my man, Big 12 championship. Take it away.
Hey, I like Iowa State a lot as well. I like what Hall is doing on the ground over there. I like what they're doing as a team on the ground. That stands for a lot of good blocking, a lot of good camaraderie, and the defense is pretty good too. And then the reason why the line is so high is because of the recent play of Oklahoma's defense, which has been really good at home. And Oklahoma's defense is maturing, but once again, in these type of games right here, we've seen Oklahoma give it up time and time again. And this Iowa State team, this is a revenge factor game right here. That's the problem I have with taking Ohio State in this one, is the revenge factor. Difficult to beat teams that play good 2 times in a row, and they got away last time by a touchdown. This time they look like the better team on the number wise as well, but this time I feel much more like CMac said, that it's a more contained game, that they use that ground game, they use that defense, and they put it together on the field, and we get a nice under. So I'm liking the under in this one.
All right, let's get you the under. By the way, CMac, a plus 180 at BetMGM. Plus 1.
Yeah, is that the best?
And then let's get a total for Big Boss here. Oklahoma, Iowa State. The highest number with the lowest juice is 58.5, under 58.5, -111 at DraftKings. That sound good, boss?
Sound good to me.
Move over to John Ryan. John Ryan, Oklahoma, Iowa State. Take it away.
Well, been on Iowa State the whole season. I don't think I know for a fact I didn't never bet against them. And similar to what Nolly brought out about the Northwestern Ohio State game, it's similar here that Iowa State has to control the pace of the play, and they do have the better ground attack. But what gives me caution here is you take out those first two games as outliers for Oklahoma, and they are up there with the Clemsons and the Alabamas of the world. For example, they're scoring 43 a game, good for 7th in the country. That compares to Iowa State scoring 34, which is good, but it ranks 28th. In points per play, Oklahoma now is 8th, 0.575, and Iowa State is a distant 0.5, and that's a lot in that particular metric. Yards per play, Iowa State is 15th at 6.5 and has an edge over Oklahoma. So it comes down to execution, I think, in the red zone, and red zone scoring for Oklahoma is ranked 4th at 96%. Third down conversions are 43%, which is mediocre for the Sooners. Third down conversions for Iowa State is better at 45%, but red zone scoring is 85%. And defensively, Oklahoma is allowing 86.2% red scoring, ranking 83rd in the nation, which is horrible. Iowa State's defense ranks 14th in that category. So there's a lot of cross currents. You're taking an initial look at this as in capping the matchups. So I'm pretty clueless on who to take here. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those high-scoring games, and I would look at the over.
Is that something that you want to make official? We can hear what Nolly knows breakdown before you make it.
Yeah, and then come back to me after Nolly.
Let's do it. Nolly knows. Here we go. Sooners, Cyclones.
This is a big matchup here. Two teams have already faced each other once before. You look at Oklahoma was actually driving on their last possession with a minute left. Rattler throws the interception in the end zone, but they're still more than capable of winning that ball game. This is a very evenly matched matchup in the sense that, they're evenly matched, but they're contrasting styles. You got one team that's going to rely on the quarterback. On the other side, they're relying heavily on arguably the best running back in the nation. He leads the nation in rushing yards this season, and he looks the part. He's very patient. He did really well against Oklahoma last time out. I was really impressed with what I saw with him. I actually watched that game last night, a little shortened version, and I thought Iowa State played really well. They were able to gain control of the game once they fell behind. They were down double digits in that game and were able to come back and win. But here in this game, it's hard for me to pick a side because it's going to be a tight battle. But when you look at the total, I'm leaning more so to what John Ryan said. I'm leaning more so towards the over. You've seen these teams battle it out over the last few years. 30-37 last time out. Last year was a 42-41 victory for Oklahoma. So they're very highly contested. And here at the end, I expect points to be scored in the second half. So I would lean more so towards the over, but still not enough for me to get there. But that's what be a lean for me.
So a lean from Nolly to the over. A man making unders great again. John, does that push you?
So Nolly is on the under, huh?
No, he's leaning towards the over, but he's off.
Leaning towards the over. Okay. Put me down for the over. I think that. How many is that for me? 4, 3.
That would be you made a move on UAB Marshall on the under 42. You stayed off the MAC. We have Washington, Oregon that we're going to go to at the end. So you have the over in Northwestern Ohio State. So this would be number 3.
Let's take the over and see what price you can get me.
All right, we can get a 57.5 at minus 116, or we can give you a 58.5 at plus 100.
The first one was 58.
57.5 at minus 116, or 58.5 at plus 100.
Wow. Give me the 58.5 plus the 100.
All right, let's lock John in. John is on the over 58.5 at plus 100. And that's at Bet MGM. And I am going to ride with CMac. I'm not balls enough to take the money line here, but I do think that Iowa State can keep this within 5.5 points, and the minus 114 I will take as well. So plus 5.5 minus 114. That's available at DraftKings.
I mean, I get the revenge, but I mean, they've already beat this team. It's on a neutral field, and they're 5.5 point favorites. Wild. Too much love for Oklahoma, I think. Even the odds
Winning
makers.
streak. Yeah, I just think it's not that, and the stats that John talked about, Oklahoma in the red zone, very dangerous. But I just think the 5.5 might be a little too much. I'm on Iowa State plus 5.5